gradually getting thinner and thinner, more and more uncomfortable.
BSA fitted the aerial hubs. Elephant in the room. Top hat and trousers.
Okay, new project. Well, I say new project. More of revisit an old friend, shall we say. Yeah, it's the B31. As you know, probably if you've watched my previous videos, I converted it to a sort of gold star look-alike. Yeah, looks really good. Quite happy with how it looks. However, with my back, it's yeah, I just can't ride it very far. It just gets too painful. Even with changing the bars, I did originally have clip-ons on there. I then put on a what is it? No, an A65 Clubman top yoke, so I could then fit some ace bars, which I did, which raised the riding position a little bit, but still not very comfortable. So I've decided I'm going to put it back to sort of standard spec. I have still got some of the, or most of the original parts that I got with the bike. I did keep them. However, some weren't actually right for the year anyway. Yeah, the front end was not right. Yeah, it's a 1957, but it had an earlier front end on it. The rear wheel was okay, but yeah. So we'll have a little look over it, see what I'm going to do, and also have already been sort of found some parts. So yeah, we sort of can get straight into it really. And yeah, there's a couple of issues to sort out. Firstly, the seat is, well, the foam is just crumbling really. Every time I move the bike, I just have to clear the dust from the seat. It's just, yeah, and it's gradually getting thinner and thinner, more and more uncomfortable. So that's obviously not helping anyway. And also the front end, yeah, the springs are incredibly worn. Well, I hope that's just the springs that are worn. Yeah, just not a lot of suspension in the front end at all. So I have got some new springs, some progressive springs, so yeah, we'll fit those and see if that makes any difference. Yeah, apart from those sort of couple of things, yeah, let's have a little look round anyway, and I'll show you the bits that should have and shouldn't have and what it has got.
Okay, well, let's start at the rear. As you can see at the moment on here, I had fitted this QD hub. Yeah, I rebuilt all that. Yeah, a bit of a shame to take it off really, but if I want to get it back to sort of proper spec, I'm going to need to fit this. So this is the original wheel. There's the brake hub there. So this is 1957. So 1956, 57, BSA fitted the aerial hubs to the B31, which I'll see this is. This is the one that came with the bike originally. And yeah, I've still got the original mudguard stays. So I did have these, or fit these chrome ones on here for the sort of the gold star look. And also the aluminium number plate, aluminium mudguard. So that will all have to be changed. I have still got the correct rear light unit, so that can be changed. That's the original balanced mudguard. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these really. Whether I'm going to repaint them, or I might just try. Well, I did put a little bit somewhere. Yeah, I did just go over a little with a little bit of I'm thinking cutting compound, not cutting compound, T-cut. Yeah, well, same thing really, just a bit finer. Yeah, I did just go with a little bit of T-cut out on that, and that has come up alright, but there was a few little spots which needed a bit of touching up with paint. Yeah, so I think I might do like a loose fit, and see how it looks. If the bit sort of touched up the paint, which is really the sort of contact points really where everything fits, if they don't show up too badly, I might just keep that paint, although I don't think that's the original paint. I think that has been resprayed at some point, but it's, you know, it's not too bad, so yeah, we might just keep that. Anything else at the rear end? Obviously there's the other one of these mudguard stays. That's the original lift up handle. We can reuse that, obviously. Rear brake lever. So this has got this short brake pedal on there, to go with these, where I fit these rear sets. So obviously that's all going to have to come off, and I'm going to put the original pegs back on, which I still have. Yeah, so that all needs sorting out there. While we're around this side, clutch. I don't know what I'm going to do about that really, whether I'm going to keep this dry clutch or refit the original. I mean, it's a good clutch, I mean it works fine. Obviously you don't get any oil leaks with one of them, but they are a bit snatchy, that's the only thing, because you haven't got the cush drive in the front there, and these don't have a built-in cush drive on them, so it does snatch a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, might change that for the original clutch. That's undecided at the moment. But yeah, if I do, I will be putting a lot of these parts up on eBay actually, so that may well be coming up, and I'll obviously sell it with the back plate that I made, and you know, all this and the special boss that you need in there. Yeah, so that will all be going as a complete thing if I do decide to sell it. Right, what else at the rear? Oh, pipe, exhaust pipe. That's obviously a replica, gold star replica pipe. This will obviously have to be spun round to put proper position. I have got a concentric carb on here. It should really have a monoblock, and I have got a monoblock, although it just runs so much better with the concentric, so I think I probably will just keep that on there. And what else we got? Elephant in the room. The tank, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have got the original tank, although it's not in. It is up there. It has been repainted. It should be chromed. It's been painted silver. Yep. Not sure. I mean, obviously it has got the correct badges. Probably can't see up there. Where's the torch gone? Yeah, I should have got it down really, shouldn't I? Yeah, see, it's got the proper original badges on there. Like I say, it's been painted. It should be chrome on the sides. I might paint it black. If I am going to fit the original tank, I think I will just paint it all black. Rather than go to the expense of getting it chromed. Yeah, so that will probably be going as well. And what else we got? Well, this is the, I'm sure it's A65 Clubman, top yoke, so that will need to be changed for that. Got some new bars as well, some standard bars. and clocks. The tacho will be going. Also, you just need the speedo. Yeah, so speedo drive. Unfortunately, I did sell the plain cover that I had on here, because this is obviously the one for the tacho drive. So what I'll have to do is just make up a little plate just to go over there, which yeah, that won't be too bad really. Simple job to do that. Right, yeah, forks. Right, so when I got this bike, it had on these with the ears, fork shrouds with this headlight actually. They're not right for 1956-57 B31. These were only fitted up to 1955, and post 58 on, let's say 58 on, they had the what's called the top hat and trousers front end on there. Yeah, if I find a picture, I'll put it up on the video on the screen so you can see what I mean by that. Yeah, so what they should have on, and I did manage to find one, is this. That's what should be on there. It's a bit rough. It's going to need completely rubbing down and repainting. Has actually still got the speedo rubber on it, which I'm surprised. Yeah, commonly known as the cowpat, for obvious reasons. Which means I won't be able to use this headlight, at least not the shell anyway. So I have got a plain, which is the right, it's a Lucas S700P, although it should have a piece cut out the back for the, or rather two holes actually cut in the back for the speedo cable to go through. Although I'm probably going to have to cut a slot because I haven't got the chronometric speedo. I have the magnetic ones on here, or the magnetic one, which the drive comes out of the centre, whereas on the chronometric it's off to one side. So that's going to take a little bit of messing around to do that. So that's going to be a little bit of a job there, which I won't really know until I start putting everything together how that's going to work. I think I'll be able to reuse the switch. I think the switch is the same, and the ammeter I'll be able to reuse that. Yeah, like I say, new bars I've got. Yeah, and because I'm fitting that, I also needed plain top shrouds, so they're basically the same as this without the ears on. So I'll need them. Well, actually I've got some new ones. And the other thing is front wheel. So this has got, and this is the front wheel that the bike came with. This is a 7-inch half width hub, which it shouldn't have on. It should have. I did manage to find one, and I managed to get it for not too bad a price really. It's going to need a bit of cleaning up and everything. I haven't checked the bearings or anything as yet, but actually the rim is a very good rim. It is a Dunlop, and I'm going to assume that's the original one. And as you can see, the chrome is in pretty good condition, so I'm not even going to re-spoke that or anything. I'm just going to change the tyre over, clean up the centre a bit, and I think that will do. Yeah, so that also needs a different spindle. which is that in there. And yeah, cup of tea, which is getting cold. Yeah, because different spindle. These ones actually thread in to this end, which means lower fork legs. I also need, but as luck would have it, I couldn't believe it when I found these. These are new old stock. These are the ones which I need. Pity they're a bit scratched up. I will have to paint them, I think. Yeah, you can see they've got a different. This is the brake side, so it's got a different end in to that, and that's threaded on the inside. And this is the other side, which has a larger bore in there. But apart from those two bits, the actual tube and everything is the same, stanchions are the same. Yeah, so that's that pretty much the front end. Oh, apart from the mudguard, still got the original balanced front mudguard. Yeah, like I say, that's got a few little bits that I may need to repaint. I'll clean it up and have a look, see what it's like. But yeah, so it's a good job I kept all the original parts, really. Front end, what else? Oh yes, and actually I'll get this out and I'll show you a bit closer. Yeah, so this is the primary, or the inner primary case, which came with the bike, and as you can see, it had some repairs done. Yeah, which you can't really notice unless you look. Little spacer on there as well. That stuff stays ever so sticky. That's the old weld seal. Good stuff. Yeah, which you can't really see, but I actually managed to find this one, which, as you can see, is in much better condition, although it has been repaired. There's a little bit there has had done. Where else was there? Somewhere else I noticed. Thought there was another little bit somewhere. Oh, up the top here, I think that's had something done along here by the looks of it at some point. That's all been polished back, so I'm assuming that's had something done. Yeah, but it's much better than that one, so yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing. So even if I do keep the dry clutch, I will put it in the case. I've still got the top half. Actually, I've got to get another dowel. I've got a dowel missing there. That's weird, because they're not in there either. I wonder what happened to them. Yeah, perhaps they weren't in there at all to start with. Yeah, there was two dowels in here, but this one had been, someone had tried to get it out and chewed it up a bit. There is a way to get these out without damaging, which I think I have covered on one of my videos. Yeah, so, well, there we are. I think that is about it. I've got some other bits and pieces in here. I think the rear number plate unit is in there. I've got some more bits in here. Yeah, so that's the plan, really. You're probably thinking, he must be mad. I've done all that work to that. Yeah, I mean, originally I suppose I could put the forward pegs back on and just put some standard bars and ride it as it is, but I think if I'm going to do it, I might as well put it back to original, sell some of these parts, and yeah, get some money back to pay for it, really. Like the exhaust, I mean, that's different to the standard exhaust. The downpipe, I've still got the proper downpipe. This is the correct one here. Let's see. Yeah, you can see how it should look like that. Even fits, even bolts on in a different place. One bolts on down there, one bolts on up there. Yeah, and I think that's a different size pipe as well, so I couldn't even use the silencer if I wanted to. Not without putting a spacer in there, which I don't really like doing stuff like that. Yeah, so quite a bit to do, and obviously these will be going up on eBay. I've already sold the clip-ons. No, I haven't. Not yet. They are on eBay still, I think. The clip-ons, as far as I remember, I don't think they're sold. Yeah, so yeah, I have a little bit to do. Yeah, I was sort of kept thinking about what I should do for the next project, and I thought, well, if I sort this out, at least I'll be able to ride it then a little bit further than I do at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, so that should look entirely different, really, once that's done, especially if I change that tank. Yeah, I think I mentioned everything. I can't think of anything else I've not spoke about. Well, only the ignition, which I did do a video on that. I've got a non-mechanical, there's no points in there, it's like a kind of electronic pickup really in there. I did a video on that if you're interested to see how I made that. Yeah, I don't think at the moment I will be getting the magneto done. I think I'll keep running off the electronic system which I built. For now anyway. I could at some point in the future. It'd be quite easy to convert it back. I still have all the internals for the magneto, so it would just be a case of sending it off to get someone to sort it out, because it was a little bit weak on tick over, I think, spark. Yeah, it was okay, sort of, it was working, it was firing, but yeah, slow running, weren't very good, so that, yeah, obviously needs a bit of a rebuild. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Everything else is pretty much as it was. Yes, it might be a nice interesting little thing to do through the winter. Yeah, so, well, thanks for watching, and yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Have a look through the playlists, you might find something of interest in there. Do try to group things together for a particular bike, keep them in the same list. Makes it a bit easier to find stuff. Yeah, we'll see how we get on.